Hey there, Solar Bears fans. Jesse Liebman here. I am pleased today to introduce the latest signing of the team for the 2020-21 season. Introducing veteran forward Peter MacArthur, joining us here virtually. Peter, first of all, where is home for you right now, and how have you been spending these last several months in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic?
No, thanks for having me. First of all, we're in San Antonio, Texas. When I played out here in the American League, my wife and I met. This is where her family is. So we're here now. I've been here since March 15th. So trying to stay safe and healthy.
The last few years that you've played in North America was primarily with the Adirondack Thunder. At the end of the 18-19 season, you had announced to the local paper there following the playoff run that you were retiring and stepping away from hockey. That didn't last too long, though. You ended up playing last season overseas in Italy. I'm not even going to bother attempting to pronounce the name of the club that you played for. I'll leave that to you. But what was that experience like from beginning to end playing in Italy, and what made you decide to maybe delay that inevitable retirement?
The team was called Brunico or Valpusteria. I was in northern Italy, beautiful place, good team. The experience was up and down. This whole pandemic kind of didn't let us get the full experience. It was an experience nonetheless, and we grew from it. And as it pertains to me kind of retiring, unretiring, lots of things went into that. My wife was working. We wanted to make our family grow. Things weren't meshing in that way. We couldn't make things work. So we wanted to change a pace, basically, and we got very fortunate with that offer in Italy. So it's actually pretty crazy. We were over there for about a week, and my wife ended up, boom, she got pregnant right away. So it was almost like it was meant to be, because our first William, who's 5, who everyone will get to know very quickly in Orlando, he was conceived in Vienna. So we can't have babies in North America. We have to go over the pond. So I guess the man upstairs had a plan for us, and it brought us back in the game, and we're grateful to be still kicking at it.
Overseas, the seasons tend to run on a different timetable than what fans here in North America might be accustomed to. I think when the pandemic hit in Russia, for instance, the Continental Hockey League playoffs were just getting underway before they decided to kind of nip it in the bud. Where was your team's season when that went down?
We had just finished what they had deemed the master round. So a group of teams that were already in the playoffs, and then a lower group. We played for seeding. So we finished that round, and we were just ready to gear up for the first game of round 1. And then everything got nixed.
So now you're back in North America. You're gearing up for the 2020-21 season with Orlando. What was that recruiting process like? What discussions did you have with Solar Bears head coach Drake Barahowski and/or assistant coach Jared Stahl that led to you to decide, all right, let's give it another year. Let's come back to North America and play specifically here in Orlando?
It started kind of midway through last year. We knew we were going to be having a larger family, and kind of what's the smartest way to go about this? How are we going to navigate? And I'd always heard good things about Orlando from guys that I've known that played there. Always heard good things about Drake as well. And just kind of started the process early, knowing that a lot of older guys probably would want to be in Orlando. And I just let them know that we were very interested, and then I'm still committed to being the best and trying to win. And thankfully, we were able to have, a couple phone calls each, and we were able to come to an agreement. So like I said a couple times now, my family and I are definitely grateful for the opportunity to come down there.
You've got a pretty extensive resume on your career. Entering this season, you've got over 500 games in the ECHL, the American League, and some of the top European leagues. Most players your age have already hung up the skates by this point. What's fueling that desire, though, to keep playing? And why do you feel that Orlando was maybe perhaps the best team to help facilitate whatever that goal is?
I just have a passion for the game, not just playing the game, but kind of everything that encompasses it. I like to teach it, like to watch. I work for an advising company and get to train all types of players from the bottom to the top. So The hardest part about still playing at my age is the training aspect. You have to be even more disciplined with when you train, what you eat, how much you're doing. And I like that challenge. It's fun to kind of figure out what you can put your body and your mind through. And, the hardest part is the family aspect. So there's not, if there's another year after this next one, I'm not so sure. But for now, it's working well for us. We'll be used to the type of schedule that we'll be on, especially with the newborn. So yeah, there's a lot of different reasons to keep going. And then Orlando seemed to be a good team last year. Got a lot of guys coming back, I see already. In the South Division, it's a division that's up for grabs every year, I think. I think the Everblades are always, kind of at the top. But then after that, if you can get through the South, you got a decent chance of going to the final. So you always play to win. That's the plan. So all that put together, grateful, and it made sense to try to make our way down there.
You've accumulated some hardware in your career, a USHL Clark Cup championship with Waterloo from your junior days, Hockey East championship during your college days at Boston University. You played with former Solar Bears goaltender John Curry there, but you've still been searching for that elusive pro championship. Now, you've gotten close. You mentioned the Everblades. You and the Las Vegas Wranglers battled them in the 2012 Kelly Cup finals. So you've been to the finals. You've seen what it takes for a championship caliber team to at least get to that level. What do you feel is required of a team to at least get to that step?
Well, you've got to play for each other. The teams that I've had the most success with, obviously you mentioned Vegas, just a good group of guys, and we all tugged on the rope. We also had a lot of good fortune. We had a great goalie. We didn't have injuries until the finals, which is maybe why we lost. And we got all our players back from the American League at the right time, right? So in the East Coast, there's so much that goes into trying to win that's out of your control, but we had those things go right for us. Same thing in the Austrian League when I was with Vienna. We didn't have injuries. We had great goaltending. And like I said, our whole team was together. So we were able to make a run to the final there. We ended up losing to Salzburg. But I think in the ECHL, if you can get your team back, it stinks to say this for AHL guys, but hopefully our AHL team doesn't do well so we can have everybody. But if you have a full squad, you don't have injuries, and you have good goaltending, I think you got a good chance to go far.
Finally, Peter, we appreciate your time for joining us. One or two last questions here before we let you go and get back to your family and the rest of your off season. For the fans that might be a little unfamiliar, you've spent much of your career up in the Northeast, at least in the last 4 seasons playing in Adirondack. How would you describe your overall game? What can fans expect from the type of player that you're ultimately going to be on the ice?
I'll try to be a leader, not make too many mistakes, capitalize on opportunities, hopefully be an important player on the power play for us, but just kind of adapt to whatever the game needs. So if it's a wide open scoring game, try to score. If it's a more tight checking game, play more responsible. I think that's one thing that's allowed me to play for so long, is that I'm able to adapt and kind of give what the game needs. Every game's different. So hopefully smart player on the ice, trying to help the younger guys navigate what's a very challenging league.
And I guess kind of a follow-up to that, Peter, the ECHL, there's a lot of roster fluidity, lineups and positions change all the time. You are a forward. Where at what position do you feel most naturally comfortable?
On the left side. I've played left wing for a long time now. I like the timing that I've found over there, the rhythm that I can get in, and I'm very comfortable making plays up and down that sidewall and also cutting to the middle from that side. So, yeah, I would definitely say left wing is my most comfortable position.
Well, Solar Bears fans, we've been privileged to be joined here today by veteran forward Peter MacArthur, who is taking his talents here to the City Beautiful. Peter, any last words, any shout out you want to give to anyone before we let you go?
There's a family down there. I don't remember their names off the top of my head, but they had twins, and they were young kids at the time when I came and played with Adirondack in Orlando. I believe it was the first night. My line mate, actually, Ryan Lomberg, had 4 goals in this game.
I remember that night.
Yeah, I kind of made a connection with these fans in warm-up. and they had their family, and I kind of showed them what was written on the handle that I write on my stick. And we ended up exchanging a couple Facebook messages with those people. So I think it'll be neat to be on their side now. So I don't know if they're watching now or not, or if they remember that moment at all, but I certainly do. And I hope they're still fans, and I hope I get to see them again.
Well, we'll certainly have to track them down. Looking forward to working with you, Peter, and looking forward ahead to the 2020-21 season. We'll definitely chat sometime soon.
Thanks for having me, Jesse. Nice meeting you. And thanks, fans. Can't wait to get down there and get it rocking.